Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is 𝘼𝙖𝙛𝙞𝙮𝙖 𝙀𝙨. I'm a certified childbirth educator and birth doula and founder of AAFIYA Essentials. Welcome to AAFIYA Talkshow, a talk show dedicated to everyday challenges of being a mother. Today we have three amazing speakers with us. They are going to share with you a lot of beneficial knowledge and their experiences in dealing with postpartum. Okay, let me introduce to you our speakers for today. We have 𝘼𝙖𝙛𝙞𝙮𝙗. Okay, she's from 40 Weeks of Blessings. Okay, she's been a postpartum doula for a very long time. Okay, we are very honored to have here today with you on board. And we also have Ustazah Nazira. Ustazah Nazira is a mother of 3 and she's a motivational speaker and she has been doing talks for a very long time as well. And for our last speaker here, we have Ms. Hatim Hamidun. She is a breastfeeding counselor from Breastfeeding Mothers Support Group. Today we are going to be talking about Cherish Your Golden Month. Okay, we have a few questions that we want to discuss today, and we are going to ask the speakers what do they think about postpartum. Okay, this is a continuation episode basically from our last series where we had online. It was an online talk show, a private talk show that we had on our Facebook group. Okay, basically we have 3 different episodes. The first episode is postpartum, beat your postpartum blues. Second episode is nutrition during confinement. And also the last episode we had is breastfeeding right from the start. Okay, so today is basically the continuation of that episode, and we want you to basically understand the importance of why you have to take care of your golden month. Okay, so maybe you can describe postpartum in one word. What would it be?
Okay, for me it would be healing. Healing would be the word which I would describe postpartum period.
Okay, healing. What about you, Ustazah?
You only need one word. I've prepared 10 tau.
It's okay, yeah, you can mention that.
So one word about postpartum. Basically, personally, I would say that it is an overwhelmed period of time.
Overwhelmed period of time. Okay.
One word. I better stop there.
I think for myself and 𝘼𝙗𝙛𝙞𝙮𝙗, it's actually the same thing.
Oh,
we
is
actually chose the same word, healing.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Maybe Ustazah, you can share more words that you have. What are the other 9?
Yeah, I'm always the over one kan. So I think the postpartum period is not only overwhelmed but it's also tiring. And it's very stressful as well. Okay, actually when Kak Fau and Hatim said healing kan, I was actually wondering a little bit tau, healing from what?
Maybe Kak Fau say healing. What do you mean by healing? Maybe you can explain more on that.
Okay, for me, when I say healing, it's more of like it's a period of time whereby you rediscover yourself. So you're not only healing your emotional self, it's like you're healing from the past, and like you're reinventing your new self as a mom, as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, because it's like a new phase in life. So you are healing from all of that, which comes to the point of what is called golden month, which we will.
Yeah, which we will discuss later.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the nice introduction. So basically, it's a healing period for all of us, okay? Whoever is going to postpartum, they should know the struggles that usually moms face during this time, okay? To take care of yourself, to take care of baby, and a lot of things. Alright, so now we are talking about emotions, okay? Why do you think emotions plays an important part during this period?
Okay. For me, emotions, feelings will help you to thrive and survive. So basically that's it. And how the feelings that you feel actually will dictate your actions and how you think as well. So if let's say you were to start off feeling negative, then of course your actions will be negative. If you start off thinking positive, then of course your actions will say that as well. So it will sort of help you in your healing process. That's how I see it.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, okay.
I actually agree with Kak Fau. I think is emotion is one of the important part that we the mother should not neglect, especially during this postpartum period. Because like what Kak Fau say, if I can echo, if the feeling is negative, it will be brought to the baby as well. And if you don't feel good, how is it that you can give goodness to the baby? So it's not about you only, but it's about the baby that you have just given birth. You know, your bundle of joy. So it's very important to take care of emotion, especially during that period.
Can I add on a bit?
Sure.
Yeah, of
Regards to
course,
emotions, not only she was mentioning about emotion with the baby, but I would like to add on the emotions with your spouse, because most of the time during postpartum, people always focus on the mom and the baby, but the poor dear husband is left in the background. So the emotions does affect him, and people always tend to neglect
Because he's
that.
the one who's going to attend to you and the baby, right?
Yeah.
Of course, he also have to feel good, right?
Yep.
If he doesn't feel good, probably he just leave the house. So yeah, that is a very good point actually. I mean, the husband emotion also need to, it plays a very important part in this during this period. Okay, maybe you can share your personal experience. Hati, maybe you can share maybe your first child. How do you feel during that time? I mean, of course, second child, we are more careful, in doing things. But first child, how was your experience?
Actually, right up to the day that I was going to have my baby, I was still kind of like shocked and scared that I'm going to have a baby.
Okay.
That when I go to the hospital, somebody actually handed me a baby and said, "This is your baby."
Okay.
So it's like, for me, it's like a paradigm shift. Like, I know I've been preparing for that. That just before I was one person and now I am a diet. Like, my baby is part of me, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's like it took a while for me to actually feel that I actually have a baby. I'm responsible for another human being. So I think that is something that all parents should be aware of, because sometimes it just catches them off guard. They've been preparing for the nursery, they've been buying the car seats and things like that. So when the actual baby comes, it's still such a shock.
Yeah, they're preparing for the items that they're going to buy,
Yes.
but they are not preparing for the baby.
Yes.
What are the things that they need to do probably?
Yes. So, and again, for my first baby, I actually had an elective C-section.
Okay.
So when I had my baby afterwards, I was rendered helpless. I was on the bed for a few days and I couldn't move around, and I felt so helpless and powerless. And then I wasn't sure about what I was doing. I wasn't sure whether the things that I do was right or not. So it took time for me to gain that confidence as a mother, actually. And yeah, it's a trial and error lah. So it's so you learn along the way, and I'm so happy that before that, my husband and I already talked about breastfeeding. So there was no real conflict about what we should do, about how to feed the baby and things like that. But I assure you, when it comes to my second baby, I was like, just give me, I know what to do already. So so confident already. Yeah, and I had a fit pregnancy. I was really sure about what I wanted to do. Like,
This is second birth?
Yes.
Okay, second birth, okay.
So I had a birth plan, I had a breastfeeding plan, I had my so-called postpartum plan, what to do and that kind of thing.
That's nice.
And I just felt that, I know what to do with my baby. I'm not so scared about another human being anymore next to me.
Do you see the difference? I mean,
Yes,
in the
totally.
baby, of course,
Yeah,
yeah?
and
Like crying wise ke macam...
Yeah, I wasn't so panicked anymore. Like the first baby, why is he crying? Is he hungry? Is he thirsty? Is he just having a bad day? Does he need to be changed? But for the second baby, never mind, just breastfeed, or never mind, he just needs a hug, and then that's it. We just know what to do. Or even if we don't know what to do, we aren't so panicky anymore. So I think that really helps the confidence, and when you have knowledge,
And
that's much better for you.
experience and all that,
and
right?
experience as well.
Maybe Ustazah, you want to add anything on that? Like, what about you?
Actually, all my 3 pregnancies are different.
Okay.
As much as I thought I'm prepared for the second one, but actually I'm surprised. And come to the third one, I thought I'm already a pro. But no, not at all. So I learned new things on every of my pregnancy. And I don't know, maybe I'm just the stressful, paranoid kind of mommy. I just feel that I'm not doing good enough. I should have done
Yeah,
better.
we always feel that, right? We're
Yeah,
not good
I
enough
feel
mums.
inadequate, and I feel that this poor baby, that kind of thing. But I must say that after the second and the third one, I am not as kanchong as I used with my first baby.
Panic,
You just do not know what to do. What is wrong? It's not what's wrong
Why
with
is he
him. What's
crying all
wrong
the
with me
time?
sometimes, right? And then, like you, I was not ready to have the first baby, in a sense that I was supposed to give birth 3 weeks after, and then I just had the contraction and all that, and to top things up, he's a bridge baby. Yeah, so in Singapore, there's no
okay.
such thing as trying for normal
Natural
birth,
birth,
right?
yeah.
Natural birth. So and my husband took the ticket in 3 weeks time, so he has to change the ticket and everything else. So I feel like I'm not prepared. Why does this have to happen now? So my postpartum is a depressive one.
Oh,
So I must say that the second and the third one, it gets better because it's well planned, and but actually, however well you plan it, is not that well. There's always, you think that
There's always something new.
Yes, and you always feel that it could be better. It could be better, right? Yeah. So alhamdulillah, for the second and the third one, it gets better, although not perfect.
We are learning every
we are learning, and
trial and error, like
but I agree, experience and knowledge really helps.
Kak Fauzia?
For me,
You have 4 kids, right?
yeah, 4 kids.
And they are teenagers now.
No, they are young adults, 2 of them. Young adults. Okay, my first one was 24 years ago. Yes, 24 years ago. And back then, I mean, I assumed that the village will actually take care of me. There was assumptions, though I make the preparation for the rest. Of course, by that time I was working, so it was a turbulent postpartum for me because I was working right up to the end, and I was doing mural, climbing stairs and ladders to do painting while fully pregnant, because my principal expect me to finish all the work before I take my leave. I was a teacher. So and then I took a 1 week leave before my baby is supposed to be due, but I delayed 1 week before. So on the day that I took my leave start, that was the day I went into labor. So it was I mean, I thought, okay. I mean, because as a teacher, we tend to plan, okay, first this will happen, contractions. And then I have a book. That time there was not many books around. So it's from by Maria Stoppat. So I used the book. Okay, now I'm in contraction. So I will follow. Okay, at this point I'm having this. Okay, is there any mucus plug? Okay, I got mucus plug. Check. So I was looking at the book. So even when I was in labor, I brought the book to the hospital. I was telling the nurse, oh, now am I in the active stage or am I in the transition stage? I mean,
you're so prepared.
Yeah, but I wasn't prepared for my postpartum. I thought I was, but I wasn't. I didn't expect because one thing during postpartum I wasn't living at my own place. I was because I was living for a short while just for the postpartum period with my in-laws. So the thing is that it was imposed on me because they said it's to the convenience of the one who's looking after me. So I feel that for mothers, they should find a place, environment which is more conducive for them.
Environment is very important. Sometimes we think that, okay, our mum or our mother-in-law, it depends who's going to take care of us. Okay, they can basically give us food and everything that we probably need. But if the environment is not up to what we expect, for example, macam ada budak lain dalam rumah tu, okay, contoh macam we are living with our maybe mother-in-law, macam mother-in-law tu ada jaga anak cucu dia. Okay, so macam kadang-kadang budak lain yang buat bising, kita yang we are having our stressful moment in the room. Padahal sebenarnya mak mertua ataupun mak kita jaga kita dengan baik, kasih makan and all that. Tapi because of the environment like she mentioned, it affects our emotions. So emotions, it really, I mean, like the environment really plays a big part lah. So she's right on that. I mean, I completely agree. Because
on top of getting used to, I mean, your body changing with all the physical changes, and then on top of having a baby, you have to feed and breastfeed, and then you have to get used to the environment. I mean, and I'm allergic to cats, and they have 2 cats.
Yeah,
so it's like
cats.
I'm practically sneezing all the time, and my paranoia was, okay, can I have cats near my baby? No, is a cat inside the room? Or no, all these things. So like your paranoia goes to like another level altogether during your postpartum period.
And not everybody have the same kind of I mean, we tolerate things differently. Macam ada orang tak boleh kucing, ada orang tak boleh suara kuat sangat, noise and all that. Ada orang maybe tak boleh smell. Sometimes if bau certain things, terus macam baby nangis baik-baik tak ada apa-apa, baby probably just want a nappy change, but you get stressed out of nothing, right?
Okay, I want to add on. Some of my moms, they from the observation of my moms I supported, some of them say that some of them have to wear a ninja or niqab when they go out of the room. So like they always coop in the room because they cannot go out because of their aurat.
Okay.
And some of the moms say they want to breastfeed, they have to breastfeed inside their small mini room because it's like temporary
because they tinggal dengan orang lain, is it?
During the confinement period. Because it's to the benefit of those who are taking care of them. So these are the things which, I mean, I've seen in the mothers nowadays. Yeah, because you have to adjust, mesti like adjusting to environment, and then cannot sleep, and then cannot wake up too late because not nice rumah orang, wake up too late pula. Takkan dah bangun pukul 11 kan, macam tak sedap, paksa bangun. Padahal budak tu minum sampai 6 pagi, habis pukul 6 kena show your face. Macam like, like it or not, you still have to, and then by the end of the day, you are very tired lah.
Yeah, this is where we're talking about living with parents. Macam living with parents, the challenges is like this. Tapi kalau living alone also pun ada challenges dia. Maybe do you guys live alone during that postpartum period, or you had other people inside the house?
For myself, I think for my first child, I stayed with my parents for about a month.
Okay.
And then when I get home, I was on my own lah. I was going crazy at a point in time because by the time my husband gets back home at 5 p.m, I was like crying, and then here's the baby. Then I have some time on my own.
Now here's the baby, take over.
Yes. So but Alhamdulillah, I was glad that my mother-in-law, even though we were living alone, she would come every other day bawa lauk. And that lauk can last us for a couple of days. So I think that really helped me with, I don't have to care about
the
cooking.
Food, yeah.
So I only have to care about, cuci baju, like doing the laundry once every few days. And then the house is generally just a mess lah. But my husband doesn't really mind because he knows that, taking care of a baby is very exhaustive, right? Exhausting. Yes. Yeah. So he doesn't have that kind of expectations for me lah. So Alhamdulillah. And sometimes what I feel so grateful for is that sometimes my mother and my sisters actually that do come over, and then kadang-kadang datang lipatkan baju and that kind of thing. So I felt that, looking back when you're talking about what would you change for your confinement, actually, and loncat sikit, I would feel like I would show more gratitude lah, actually, because these are the small things that actually help you to just live your day lah. And yeah lah. But by the time when I had my second baby, of course I was more prepared, and
things get a little easier.
Things get a little easier.
A lot more easier.
Yes, and you have lesser expectations of yourself. Tak macam rumah kena bersih, rumah kena gini, rumah kena gitu. So it's just fine. So
you cut down all the expectations. Yeah,
I actually believe with her because I am on the same, because for my number 3 and number 4 we were living on own, and it was so much easier because we don't have to think about keeping up appearances or pleasing people or following according to people's punya protocol, and we can say we have the say of who we want as guests. At that time we were staying with somebody, we cannot say we don't want, if everybody want to visit us, so we have to muka cantik pun tak teruk pun kena bangun juga, show people, I mean, so it was a bit difficult.
Macam these little things macam tak nampak, macam kita ingat benda-benda ni semua, it's like okay, as long as you have your confinement food, you breastfeed your baby, and then your laundry, maybe your husband tolong ke apa, it's done. But actually there's a lot more. I think emotions plays a very, very, I think it's the first thing. I mean, you make the mom feel good, she will do good in everything. It's very good. And the person who has to make the mom feel good, the first person is the husband. Because I mean, I do understand husband also come back from work, they penat and all this, memang betul. Tapi take care of her emotions first. You take care of laundry ke, you take care of whatever else, you must address her emotions first. Ask her, how is she doing? How's your day today? How do you feel? Things like that. I think if she feels good, if she can connect with the husband well, I think it gets easier for the rest of the other tasks to be done, right?
Can I just add on to
yeah,
this?
sure, of course. It's okay.
So many things. Okay. Most of the time when people talk about postpartum, right? So they will be thinking, only when postpartum that I will do this. But the preparation comes prior to that. If let's say you and your husband's complications, there's a problem during, especially remember pregnancy, your hormones everywhere, right? So then maybe there was a strain communication during pregnancy itself. So you have to work on that before the baby comes.
Emotional release.
Yeah.
Is that
So
what?
then once the baby comes, is part 2 of working on your communication, because it's more of executing whatever you have put in your game plan, something like that. Yeah, because if let's say you cannot communicate to your husband, and then postpartum you expect him to wash, I mean, susah. You must say it out. So that's why the postpartum plan is very important.
Yeah, that's why we had that postpartum plan on our previous episode. Okay, so if you want to know more about how to plan your postpartum, you can watch our talk show series. Okay. Like she mentioned earlier about the plan, it has to be done before your postpartum, not during your postpartum. You might thought, okay, tak apa, nanti bila anak dah keluar, you can just plan lah, suruh dia cuci baju, suruh dia buat ni. Tapi sebenarnya you kena plan during your pregnancy. Pregnancy-wise is the moment where you gain education, you gain experience, take experience from other people, positive stories, ask orang macam mana, how do you manage, maybe you can share, things like that. So maybe you can get that knowledge or that information, then you can imagine how you're gonna deal with it. Maybe you belum tahu macam mana you nak deal with it, tapi at least if you find out the information during pregnancy, it might help you a lot. Yeah. So we mentioned about emotions, and then we mentioned about what else? The space. Yeah, the space. Like Hati mentioned just now, you know, like she stayed with her mom for 1 month, and after that you have your own space. You feel much better, right? So space is not really better. She's laughing. Okay. Oh, that was Kak Fau. Okay, she feel a lot better. Okay, honestly, for me also, I personally feel a lot better with my own space. Some people, they feel, kau tinggal dengan mak kau lah, senang lah kau. You know, ada orang jaga, that kind of thing. Tapi tak semua orang macam gitu. Ada orang dia rasa lebih selesa kalau dia seorang je kat rumah tu. Macam dia, maybe husband dah. Kalau ada anak lain, that's a different story lah. Tapi maybe some people, they prefer to have help. You know, people, the environment, macam a lot of people helps them to manage their stress level better. But not for everyone. For me, I'm a person where if you leave me alone in my room, I do my things, I'll be fine. But, you know, like you said just now, you also prefer that way, right? So I think everybody has different way of dealing with stress. Okay?
Can I add on? Sorry, with emotions. Sorry, I got some things to add on. Okay, because when talk about environment, right? Okay, of course I mean all of us. I mean some of us would prefer our own space. Okay, but the thing is that we still need our support team, which is in part of the postpartum plan. So the support team, if it's good that for you, you communicate when the support team must come in. So let's say kalau macam you give them, okay, waktu gini, maybe you can come in and give me the food or something like that. You can actually not dictate lah. You can just this is where you have to work on your communication. Talk to your whoever that's arranging for your meals, or whoever's helping you with macam visitation ke atau mandikan budak.
Actually, this one comes on our next question. Actually,
okay, sorry.
So yeah, she covers some of that part. Okay, so what kind of support did you get? You know, who are the people who support you during confinement? What kind of help did you get? What kind of help you think you should be offered and prioritized? I think you mentioned. I think you covers most of the points there.
But my main support, my main man is my husband lah.
Your husband lah. Who is your main support? I mean, the first person.
My case, I'm blessed. When I give birth, I was staying with my parents, and that is my choice.
Okay.
I want to stay with my parents.
Okay.
But I do agree space is very important as well. The reason I want to stay with my parents is because I know my husband will be working. Okay, so I need the support from my parents in terms of, because my mom is amazing. At night, she will be the one who will wake up and change the diaper of my baby. Okay, I don't have to wake up unless it's for feeding. For changing, because I had C-sec. Okay, so for her, like, okay, C-sec, she has no experience of C-sec lah. All 5 is normal, kan? But for her, like, C-sec, you cannot bend, you know, things like that. So when you change diaper, you have to bend, kan? That part, I'm happy, like, I cannot. I also over sikit lah. So when it comes to giving birth, changing diaper, is all her job. I only need to breastfeed my son. And then when it comes to my father, he is the to-go person to put the baby to sleep. Okay, so if after I fed the baby, and then I will give it to him. So it's his job now. If the baby is still not sleeping after he burps and everything like that, so it's his job. So he will, like, you know, dokong, read his salawat ke, zikir ke, whatever. So
and also I have to add, grandparents are usually more patient with the baby.
Yes, tell me about that. Like for me, I'm like, what more do you want? I fed you enough. And for me, it's enough already. Now I think about that, it's a little bit quite unfair lah, kan? But okay, those were the time jahiliyah. So it was like, my father is a to-go person, and my husband is one of my pillars of support as well, in a way that he will give me everything that mom says no to. I mean, I believe, for goodness sake, you have just give birth. Kan? I mean, I do understand the fact that, you know, mummies, the older generation, they want you to take care of yourself. Okay, you cannot eat this, you cannot take this yet, and all that. I appreciate that. Okay, I appreciate that. But, you know, there are just sometimes we just need to be naughty. Okay, you just need someone to listen to your whims and your nonsense. Okay, that's where my husband will come. Okay, you know, if mom gets to know about this, you know, she will not stop nagging at me.
What do you mean? Like
bubble tea?
Oh, ya Allah.
You are not.
Okay.
Okay. You are not supposed to have cold drinks, not tea, not, you know, that kind of thing. That's just one of the many examples that my husband would just give in. He will say that, mom will not be happy. We don't have to tell mom, right? That kind of thing. So, I don't know, but... No, she doesn't. She doesn't have Facebook, it's okay. and yeah, I think that apart from food, apart from good food and confinement food, apart from massage, oh my God, I love massage. Okay, I hope that I can have massage for 40 days. If you say that your golden days are 40 days, why is it that you cannot have massage for 40 days?
Yeah, why is it only 10, right? Yeah.
7. Some of them is only 7, kan? Yeah. So, I think my
because
support...
it's expensive, that's
yeah,
why.
yeah, I believe so.
Is a lot of money.
No, but I think it's a tough job also. Massaging is a tough job, kan? Yeah. So I think the money it's worth it lah. Yeah, where was I? Yeah. So my support would be my parents and my husband, and my siblings are there
There's
too.
a lot of support, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah, I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. And my siblings will be there to take care of the older children.
The
Again,
older kids.
like when I gave birth to my third one. Okay, my 2 boys, they need attention, and I'm just like, no, I cannot. I just need my beauty sleep, things like that. But cannot because I have two older children. So that's where my siblings will come into my place, and they will take them out for cycling. This, that. My husband would do that also, but because he worked long hours, so when he's not there, my support will come into the picture. So alhamdulillah, I'm blessed.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
can.
forgot. This is one important one. One of my support, which is under emotional support and spiritual support, comes from my mom and my grandma. Because as during postpartum, our hormones are obviously a bit on the whack as well, higher than when we were pregnant. So things like istighfar and zikr, you cannot solat, right? So istighfar, zikir, and whenever we are angry, then my grandma say, husnuzon, istighfar. So macam like, whenever I call her, she was scared say that. I was like, okay lah, I know whatever she was going to say, but I'll still call her. Because I know that hearing her voice, a reminder, and then every time when she said in a different way. So you have to have somebody who will give you that spiritual support as well, which is very important lah. Because at that time kita tak boleh solat.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so so basically not everybody receive the same kind of help. Okay, some receive from husband, some from parents, some from siblings, some from all. Some from maybe outsider, like maybe a doula as well, who probably support you. Not necessarily they are there. Macam a doula, usually they don't really be there, come to your house, and then that will be a confinement nanny who does that. Tapi usually macam doula ni, usually macam you can have someone to message them if you're unsure about something. Okay, contoh macam kalau let's say the baby doesn't breastfeed for how many hours, and then you're not sure. Okay, how many hours boleh kasih dia tidur? 6 hours ke 4 hours. So again, I mean, if you have macam a supportive friends who have given birth before, if they have any experience to share, they can probably tell you, kalau boleh 4 hours you kejut lah, you susu, nanti takut dia gini kan. So I think things like that also kind of support. It's called virtual support. So virtual support from your friends, sometimes we just message, aku penat lah, that kind of thing. Padahal kawan kita tak boleh buat apa-apa pun. Tapi that kind of support also is important, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to also add, like, since you already mentioned virtual support, right? So I think for myself, I was like one of the first few in my circle of friends to have a baby. So I don't have anybody to ask about breastfeeding. So that's where online support, like from Facebook groups, really so important to me lah.
So that's why you started your own, right?
Somewhat like that. I mean, when I went there, I realized one of my old ex-colleagues belong to this breastfeeding group, and I said, hey, how come she didn't ajak me? So I joined that group, and then I realized, these are the same issues that other moms are having. So I'm not alone in this. So it really helped a lot. And sometimes I don't have to ask questions. I just scroll through the group and then just look at all the questions. Some of them are similar, like why is baby not latching correctly? Is baby pooping correctly? The number of diapers that baby has in a day and things like that. Yeah. So and sometimes they give me resources. Oh, these are the books that you get from. This is from the website that is reliable. And all the links, and I read up all of it, and I thought, hey, you know what? I know better now, so that's why I feel more confident when it comes to breastfeeding and things like that. So I think like online support is really important, especially for this season of pandemic, right? Like people cannot really go out during the circuit breaker period. They can't even see lactation counselors and things like that.
Yeah, it's even more harder for them who actually give birth now. I mean, my sister is pregnant; she's going to give birth. So it will be different, definitely. Macam tak boleh nak receive visitors and all that.
That's true. So that's why this so-called like online tribe is really important.
And I have to agree with Sri when she said that outside supports are important as well. My case during my third delivery, Kak Fauzia was my doula. Okay, and I remembered I was very panicked when I saw my girl's navel. It's like yeah, it's not coming out totally, things like that. When I asked my mother, she said that mak pun dah lupa. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, what I'm supposed to do, because this is new to me. And yeah, she came all the way. I stay in Pasir Ris and she stays all the way out there at Admiralty, and she came and she scolded me a little bit, like, it's already like this, you should have told me before. So I don't know how I'm supposed to know, but that helps, knowing that
so
someone
what happened to
macam dekat, I pun dah lupa.
I can't remember.
I think the pusat tak jatuh betul-betul.
Oh, I see. After the
so how am I supposed to know it's still there? Kan? Yeah, sometimes it's not dried up. When I brought her to the poly, the nurse doesn't say anything. But then it's getting smelly, and there's that kind of thing kan. So alhamdulillah, no infection, because she kept infection alamak, okay. Yeah, so she was cleaning it properly, and when I saw she cleaning, like, no, I didn't do anything like that at all. And she was like, why didn't you do that? I didn't know that I have to do that, and that kind of support really mean a lot to me, especially when
newborn care,
and then I'm already staying on my own, and my mom did come every day, but she also was not sure, and yeah, I was so thankful that I have this kind of support that can help me go through. It was very stressful knowing that, what have you done to your baby, kan? And my husband was like, okay, I don't know, really, you have to. Luckily she came, that kind of thing. So yeah, support is very, very important.
And I think you need to seek the support. I mean, you need to seek for help. I mean, you cannot expect people to come and help you. I mean,
correct.
will not come to your house and knock to your door. Do you have any problem? Can I help? It's not like, those people come and knocking surprisingly, but you need to actually seek for help. I mean, find help, find knowledge.
You need to be humble enough, I feel, to us, because like for my to my case, kan, it's already my third baby. How can I not know? I can think like that. How can I not know? This is number 3. This is not my first one, right? But I think it's important to humble yourself down, drop down your ego, and ask, Kak, I don't know what is wrong with her. Can you come and have a look? And yeah, when you seek help, they will definitely come. But when you don't, you cannot expect anybody have psychic power. To come and to just think, oh, I think she needs help, and suddenly call everything okay, and like, I'm not the only mother that you have, kan?
Okay, since Ustazah mentioned that, and you mentioned about the virtual support during the pandemic, especially, right, whereby we cannot actually go do house visit. So what I went one level up. So we do video calls. So the video calls I will instruct. Even I had accidental home birth through video calls, instructing the husband, okay, you do this, you do that. Like, I think my husband and my whole family can hear my voice from the room doing video calls to instruct to do this, do that. So it's similarly for postpartum. I will tell the mom, okay, how you can do this, how do you hold the baby. I mean, it's really a totally
a lot of work, basically.
Yeah, it's really a steep learning curve, but we managed to do it. It means at the end of the day, as long as you reach out, we want you to reach out. That's the main thing. If you have any problems, just reach out.
Okay, so we are gonna come back to this conversation again. I know it's it's getting more interesting right now. So we'll come back after the commercial. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for still being here with us. Okay, we have a lot more questions that we want to cover. So now we are going to ask Ms. Hatim, okay, about breastfeeding. Okay, what are the 3 main important things that you would like to share with moms? What are the things that they have to prepare beforehand?
I know you say 3 things, but I'm going to expand on these 3 things.
Okay,
so the first thing I think is what is important is preparation. Ample preparation, because it just doesn't mean that you have to go to breastfeeding workshops and reading more about books. These are all important. What I mean by preparation is not only this so-called knowledge preparation, you have to have emotional preparation, physical preparation. You know, you need to be fit in order for you to for labor, right? And
Mentally as well?
mentally prepared and emotionally prepared as well, and spiritually prepared as well. Because once you have these, more than 90%, at the 90% level, I think you'll be more than. It'll be a smoother postpartum period for you. It'll be a less conflicting postpartum period for you, inshallah. And this is where sometimes people kind of think that, you know, I'll do it when the time comes. So that's a bit too late already sometimes.
Okay, maybe I can ask you which trimester, okay, since we're going to prepare during pregnancy, yang paling best, I mean, like, the ideal time to go for the breastfeeding workshop or breastfeeding class?
I think, I mean, the first trimester, sometimes people still don't want to announce yet, right? So okay, I think that's fair enough. Maybe second trimester is already good because the tummy is already showing and you can already feel that excitement of welcoming a new baby. So I think that's nice already, because by the third trimester you'll be so big, you're already
so
starting
tired.
to nest. Yeah, so yeah,
So
second
maybe
trimester it's a good time to
second
start.
trimester.
Yeah. And I was saying the second thing, right? So the first thing is preparation. The second thing is actually why breastfeeding is actually important for you. You have to be aware and really appreciate the effect, because well, breastfeeding is actually the normal food for human babies. Actually, we are mammals. We have human milk, and besides that, breastfeeding is also it's not really good. I wouldn't say it's good for babies, because I myself hate the fact that people say the benefits of milk when it's your actual food. You don't say benefits of having of eating food, right? So it's the norm. You know, these are the way how
Is
things
the
should
right?
be.
Maybe I can say.
Yeah, it's the so-called right way to feed a baby. So yeah, it helps babies who are on breast milk fall sick lesser, or even when they do fall sick, it's milder. They grow more optimally, I think, and you know, all these so-called benefits lah.
Okay,
and
sorry. Maybe I
yes.
can say it's not the right way. What I mean is baby's right. As in, it's their right. To
Yeah, you
have
can
the
say
mother's
that
milk,
also,
yeah?
because
Is
you know
it?
it's a right. I mean, if you're talking about Islam, right, it's actually the right of a baby to have milk for at least 2 years. So it is in a sense a right of a baby. And that's just the baby. We are talking about the mom as well.
Yeah.
And breastfeeding is also good for the mother, because for the postpartum period, it actually helps the womb contract. So it gets her, you know, healthier, easier. But at the most basic level is that breastfeeding is actually like a woman's right to breastfeed herself, to breastfeed her baby, because it's like a natural flow of things. When you have a baby, you're pregnant, you have a baby, then you give milk to your baby. So when that doesn't happen, it's actually like you're missing
There's a
something
gap.
already. So that's why. Yeah, so that's why some mothers are actually very angry that they feel grief when they can't breastfeed the baby, because it is only natural that if they cannot do that, then they feel such things. There has been studies that say that, you know, people keep thinking that breastfeeding gives mothers stress, that's why they have postnatal depression. Actually, it's the
other way
it's the
around.
opposite way. You know, and there are so many studies, even when depressed mothers report that when they are breastfeeding, they feel more connected to the baby, and they feel more bonding with the baby. Yeah, they feel more confident, right? Even though they're depressed, they can still take care of somebody else. So I think that's a win-win situation for both mom and baby. Yeah, and the third thing, yes, so preparation, and what you call it, knowledge that why breastfeeding is important. And number 3 is actually to know that you are enough, that you have enough. We were talking about demand and supply earlier, right? So you will have enough when you have the right knowledge with the preparation. Then you will have enough for your baby. You don't need to top up with formula. You don't need to go to special massages to make sure that you have milk. You don't need to buy super special extra pump to have milk. You can do it. Like, you know, women have been there all this millennia breastfeeding the babies, and if they cannot, sometimes they seek help from other women, right? So yeah, we can be like that too. And yeah, you have to be confident lah, because when you don't trust yourself, how can you trust yourself to make milk? So yeah.
Yeah, and I think mentally prepared is very important, because usually they think they cannot do it because they haven't done it. They haven't done it before.
Yes.
You know, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I heard a lot of negative remarks, or probably susah.
Yes.
The common word is susah lah nak breastfeed. Tapi sebenarnya if you tell yourself it's senang, it will be senang. It is susah I wouldn't say susah also, I would say challenging. For the first 3 months, it's definitely challenging because it's something new.
Yeah, it's a steep learning
curve. If you breastfeed
curve.
first child and you breastfeed second child, definitely you can tell the mum who has the second child, senang je ni benda, you know, that kind of thing. Tapi macam for the first time, you know, of course it's going to be difficult because you have not done it. Tapi you need to prepare your mental that you can. You know, whatever that goes on your brain, it goes on your action, right?
It's
so
like you're getting ready for birth as well, right? Oh, I don't think I can birth naturally, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So that kind of talk,
Self-talk.
you have to motivate yourself the same way for breastfeeding as
Breastfeeding,
well.
yeah.
So yeah, and this really helps lah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's actually the first thing you need to prepare, your mental. And then from there, you can convince what you're going to do. Okay, after you have, okay, you know what? I think I'm going to breastfeed my child. I think in order for me to do this, I have to go for class. Only when you are, you know, when you know what you want, then you can go for class. When you go for class, and then you can start with the, you know, extending your knowledge lah, you know. Try to go for a different class, not just, you know, one class and that's it. You know, you need a lot of knowledge. You need to gain a lot of knowledge. Yeah.
I think the worry is that for now we can say that yes, sometimes you need to do a bit more, but I do understand that some moms, when they say it's difficult and things like that, because they're not exposed to breastfeeding to begin with, right? Like their own moms don't breastfeed. When you go to the hospitals and the nurse say, yeah, your baby is lazy, cannot breastfeed, just give bottle. Sometimes we do get comments like that, and that really brings us down, and you start to have all these self-doubts. So this is where also the preparation is important. You know what is accurate, what is correct information, and you know where to get the right support.
It helps to boost your confidence lah when you have extra knowledge in hand. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's a very good point. Okay, maybe Ustazah can cover around during this period. Okay, the mom cannot solat, right? The mom cannot pray, and their emotions is haywire. Everything is, you know, upside down. So how to keep your sane?
Okay, question on sanity, because you cannot pray.
Yeah.
Because many of us feel that prayer is the only way for us to gain our sanity, which is not really wrong. Okay, because prayer is the connection, is the communication between us and Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. So I'm not saying that it doesn't help. It really helps. Okay, but we should not narrow our understanding of our connection with Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. It's not via prayer only. If you have been following me, you would know that I always use this statement. If you look for opportunities, you will find tons of it. But if you don't, excuses are all you will get. So yes, while prayer helps, while performing our salah helps us to regain our sanity, and it helps us to get connected to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, but there are indeed other ways that we can do so that we can get that connection. And when you are connected with Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, obviously you will be sane. Okay, you will be grounded. You will be sane as well as grounded. Okay, so I would say that apart from praying, because you cannot do that at that very point of time. Kak Fauzia mentioned about istighfar just now. Okay, istighfar doesn't need you to be clean because you're having your nifas at that point of time. So dhikr, istighfar, remembrance of Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, it can be done at any point of time, whether you're having your nifas or otherwise, whether you are facing the qibla or otherwise. You don't need to take wudu, and it's not about covering your aura even. You don't have to put on your telekong and say astaghfirullahalazim. No, right? You can do that at any point of time. And if you do your istighfar, I mean, I did a class, a session with Kak Fauzia on the power of istighfar. If it is done correctly, it will really bring you to the ground. Okay, so I'm not saying that I can never say that it will take over prayer, salah, it would never do that, but it will help you immensely in grounding you, because at that very point of time, we are just, haywire, babies cannot stop crying, and the soiled diaper, and then cannot stop feeding, cannot stop crying, one thing, cannot stop feeding is another thing.
And also I must add, like you mentioned istighfar, you mentioned zikir, I also had online syarahan, because you cannot solat, but that doesn't mean that you have to stop learning. Okay,
Correct.
You are having the baby in front of your Ais, okay, you dah belajar pasal breastfeeding, dah belajar pasal postpartum. Habis lepas tu nak belajar pasal apa? Belajarlah pasal macam mana nak jaga anak, jadikan anak sebagai seorang anak yang soleh.
Yeah, that's where my statement came in just now. If you look for opportunities, you will find tons of it. If you don't, excuses are all.
Right?
Yeah, and especially now when
online,
everything is online, it's just a matter of clicking it away. So it's really up to you. Okay, so just now I was mentioning about istighfar, about dhikr, and you know, you taking care of this little human is really an ibadah, and that is how do I put it? That is one of the way you can stay connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because ibadah is not only rituals, ibadah is not only praying. You are taking care of the amanah that Allah has just bestowed you with.
And breastfeeding is also an ibadah.
And breastfeeding, you know, I know some. I mean, I was one that kind of mother who asked myself the question, why is this baby not stopping? You know, can he ever get full? That kind of thing. You know, but if you shift your paradigm and thinking that this is another form of ibadah, of you getting connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that should be able to keep you sane and grounded as well. So it's really up to you. If you look for opportunities, you can just find a lot of them to stay grounded, to stay sane, to stay connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, albeit you cannot be doing your prayer. It could be 30 days, 40 days, 60 days maximum. Okay, but that shouldn't be the reason on why you stray away or you feel that you are very far, and the reason is you cannot pray. I mean, you're just looking
that should not be the excuse.
Yes, I would say this is just an excuse. You are far from Allah. Why? Because you cannot pray. But you can do tons of other things. So knowledge is very important. When you have knowledge, you will know what to do.
And this is spiritual knowledge.
Yes, and this is spiritual. So zikr, istighfar, and knowing that ibadah comes in many other forms, and you being grateful for these new blessings that you are bestowed with. All these are the links that can get you connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The baby that you have been asking for maybe a long time, you never know. But then when they are in front of you, and then you suddenly lose it, and then you know, thinking what's next. So
I think we should change our paradigm in not thinking that prayer is the only way that we can get connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that will help our sanity. While yes, it is a big factor in getting us connected to Allah and stay sane, but there are other things that could help us to stay sane and get connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well.
It's a fitrah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stop you from be able to pray. Imagine if you have baby, afterwards during that nifas you have to pray. You'll be more, you'll be gone crazy. So sebab tu Allah cakap, during this time you have your darah nifas, you cannot salat because Allah is giving you a break. So in order to thank Allah for giving you a break, you have to continue remembering Him. Doesn't mean that okay, fine, you cannot pray, you don't have to remember me anymore. Okay, even though you cannot pray, you can still do other things like Ustazah mentioned just now.
I would like to add with regards to puasa as well, fasting. Like I have had like moms going to us and asking, oh, I just finished my nifas, it's already Ramadan, I want to fast. And that's like, are you sure?
Okay.
It's like, it's the healing period is one, like your body haven't healed properly.
Yes.
And furthermore, what I think is like if you're breastfeeding, then you need more food than usual.
Correct.
And you're going to be very, very hungry. And if the baby ends up dehydrated because you still want to fast. I mean, I think what is your niyat in fasting now? So
you should prioritize what is more important.
You should prioritize what is in front of you. While the excuse that we will always give is that you nak bayarkan balik ke puasa I. Kan, solat you don't have to repay back, but fasting you have to repay back. Cakap senang but who's going to repay back the fasting for me? I think it's not about that.
It's just the time. I think the time is not.
Yeah. The time is just not right for you. Okay, you know your body very well, and you know what is needed of you to give to your child. Okay, so if you can fast, alhamdulillah, but then it goes back to your intention. Why is it actually you want to fast? You want to fast because you don't want to repay your fast? You get what I mean? You want to fast so that you don't have to repay your fast after Ramadan. You want to fast because everybody else is fasting. Why can't I? So it really goes back to your intention. Is it because people are pressurizing you? Oh, my BFF, she can fast, she can be breastfeeding, she can do two things at one time. Why can't I? What is the difference between me? That is comparing already. So you don't compare yourself with another. You don't compare your pregnancy with your previous pregnancy in the first place to start with, right? What more with other people? So you know yourself the best, and And yeah, you know also the amanah that Allah has just given you with, that you have to the rights that you need to fulfill to this amanah as well as to yourself. There's time for everything. I would say there is time for everything. Yeah.
So take this time. Now we're going to talk about Golden Month. Okay, so we have discussed about solat, we have discussed about puasa. Okay, now we are basically back to the topic that we have. Okay, cherish your golden month. Why we say cherish? Because it's very important month. Okay, now we maybe Kak Fauzia, can you say why they call it golden month? Why tak cakap something else? You know, silver month ke apa ke? You know?
Okay, golden month. According to the traditional cultures, right? Okay, means TCM, Chinese medicine culture, the Ayurvedic, all these traditional cultures like all over the world. They believe that after birth, your body is under state of imbalance and depletion. So these 40 days, which is a golden month, they say, but it's not like a fixed 40 days. It's like a loose concept of 40 days, whereby it's a time of healing for you to heal from your past and your present and preparing for your future. And it's actually the window that sets the stage for your health the next 40 years. It means if you sabotage your 40 days, it means you are setting yourself up for
40 years.
A lot of nonsense for 40 years. It means your aches and pains will catch up to you when you're 30 or 40. You feel like you're old maid. Badan you are still young, tapi your badan's not showing otherwise. All this kind of stuff lah. So a lot of moms, because nowadays we're in this era whereby must get fast chop baik, nak balik go back to work, all chop. So they chop also their healing process.
Chop lah.
Yeah. So and then they say, oh, when they can go back to work? No, but their body shows signs already, but they just choose to neglect the signs lah.
Yeah, and sometimes I mean they rush it for whatever reasons lah. Sometimes for work, sometimes for could be the pressure from other people around them. This
is what I would want to emphasize, the support lah. So the support the support team that you choose from the start, not only must support you in your breastfeeding, but also must support you in your spiritual aspect as well, but also must support you. You must consider the people who are you shortlist in your support team must be the one who would know at the end of the day they would think about your needs. They will put you. You put you first rather than it's up to their convenience, like environment as well. So the support team is the crux. So this is one of my important points in postpartum, which I feel that people neglect in your golden month.
Yeah, and also I think this is the month where you need to build the trust with your baby. If you don't take care of your baby well during these 40 days, how can you expect your baby to be well in terms of health, in terms of behavior, in terms of many other things? If you take care of during this time, the baby just came out from the oven, and then suddenly you neglect the baby. You probably don't give your 100%. Giving 100% is not just being at home. Kita boleh ada kat rumah, jaga anak, but what we give the baby, kita buat benda lain, dia buat benda lain, that kind of thing. You need to be present. Okay, so this golden month is the time for you to be present, because kalau kerja pun you have your maternity leave, so take that chance in that maternity leave to bond with your baby. And when you bond with your baby, you need to focus on your baby. Yeah, I mean, of course, breastfeeding is part of the chore that you have. I mean, I wouldn't say chore, part of your responsibility. Okay, I would correct that. Sorry. Okay, it's part of your responsibility. I mean, I try to improve your breastfeeding or anything that you can, connect with your baby, I guess. Yeah, it's so easy for us to be depressed. But what about the baby? We always talk about depression, mom depression. Baby tak ada depression ke? Baby
they tend to forget that.
Yeah, the baby also have needs, right?
So they tend to forget that, they think about their needs, the mother's needs, but they forget that whatever you do will mirror to your child. And then it will actually affect your child in future as well. Of course, I don't want to make it look so drastic, but it does. Research have shown it does. You have to be present, not only physically, but your hand here, tengok WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook, but to be there and communicate with your child. Your child will know whether you're actually there for him or her.
Yeah, especially during breastfeeding. I myself do that. Okay, I always whenever I breastfeed, just tengok phone, macam scroll up. But now I started to do something different. I started to actually, before I start the phone, of course we have all the macam temptation kan. Tapi I will zikir first, just to keep my. At least I give something to the baby first lah, for few minutes kan. At least dia pun dah relax. Lepas tu dia dah relax, dia dah macam nak tidur. Okay, you main lah phone kalau you boring. I know sometimes breastfeeding can take hours, can take 1 hour on the bed. Siapa tak boring kan, baring kat bed, tak buat apa-apa kan. Of course you need the phone ke, the book ke, something else. So I guess you start off with that first. Like Ustazah said, zikir. You cannot zikir any other time. you know, it's an excuse because you always have time to breastfeed. And you got a lot, I mean, like when you're on the bed, it's such a long time that you're going to be there. So zikir first, read whichever dua that you like. Maybe, you know, start off with something positive, and then you can continue with your reading book and anything else. I guess that will give some kinds of important feeling to your baby, so that the baby feel, my mom is here, you know, and she is right present in front of me, not just giving me her boobs, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. So
And
I guess
I would say that being present is the greatest gift that you can ever give to your baby, your children, and all that. And I like the idea that you said that you still need your phone, but you will start with zikir and all that. Can I think the crux of the matter is it's okay if it is small but consistent. You don't start with something big. Okay, suddenly today you go back and feed your baby. Suddenly you buka Baqarah. Okay, Baqarah, but after 3 times Baqarah ke mana, you ke mana. Kan? So I like the idea of starting small and istiqamah, but slowly you upgrade yourself. Like you don't want to start small all the way, kan? You want to grow up, you want to upgrade. So maybe first you zikir, and then you start buka Quran ke apa ke, and slowly if you really want to do that, kan, you will see that Allah will ease it for you and open up the ways for you, and suddenly you feel like you don't need to see Netflix anymore, you don't need to check your business IG anymore. I mean I cannot promise you anything, but I can promise you that if you try, Allah will open up the way for you.
Yeah.
This actually, what was I say is good, but I need to add on. It has to be in your business plan. It must be in your postpartum plan, because moms think, oh, tak apalah, I will remember how to zikir and everything. But sometimes we during postpartum we have brain fog. You know? Sometimes we quite we are, because of the overwhelm, not enough sleep, breastfeeding, semua. Yeah, mommy brain. Mommy brain. I won't say mommy brain. Because we discredit ourselves. Okay. I mean, but the thing is we tend to have all this. So I feel that the support team will remind you, and then you must also put your postpartum plan. So you must have, okay, postpartum plan, who's the first person you go to, who must remind you kalau you macam gini. So usually your partner or your best friend or whoever, macam just to remind you, have you done this? Remember you inside your postpartum plan, you say that you want to at least start a zikir, hafalis, rabana or something like that. No, I mean all these small to do things, you must have your routine. So it's like your postpartum plan, you plan for it.
Kalau you nak plan senang, you write down on the paper, you tampal kat depan fridge atau tampal kat depan katil. I mean, I know it's kita always say postpartum plan, tapi how to plan, you know? So yeah, get it written and then put it there, or you know, in a book, you know, let your husband read so everybody can know your plan. Okay, we will come back again with the next segment. Okay, we're gonna ask a question to our speaker. If there is one thing you would want to change and do better in your postpartum, what would that be? Stay tuned and we will be right back. Okay, welcome back, and you are still with us on AAFIYA Talk Show, and we are wrapping things up with few more questions. Okay, maybe Kak Fauzia, you would like to share if there is one thing, you know, you would want to change and do better on your postpartum. What would that be?
Okay, actually, there's nothing I want to change.
Okay.
I mean, even though mine was, alhamdulillah, even though they was turbulent, the first two, okay, but the thing is that I find that any challenges that I went through, it was a hikmah. There's always a hidden, it's a matter of seeing it, and I truly embrace my journey as a mum, even though I went through postnatal depression for the first one, and then there were other challenges along the way, but at the end of the day, it makes me who I am. And I wouldn't be here as a doula if it wasn't for those challenges. And I find that from those challenges, I see things in a different light. And I'm so thankful for that.
For all the tests given.
Yeah. So, but one thing I would, say that one of the main things that that I learned is to forgive myself, because for the first two, when I went through postnatal depression, I had difficulty forgiving myself. It's easy for us to forgive others, but we tend to be very hard on ourselves. We have our certain rules. Oh, we must meet up to this. But forgiving myself was the greatest challenge, but I'm so thankful that Allah guided me to it. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, yeah, I'm sure that all of us have our own set of tests. I mean, the test must be different for everybody, but it is basically the perfect test for us to grow, right? So I guess we cannot compare our challenges with other people, because we never know what our neighbours is going through. You know, our struggle might be, we think that maybe we have a lot of struggle during that moment, but there's a lot of people out there yang lagi susah, or maybe kalau kita rasa kita bagus, ada orang yang lagi bagus, things like that. So during this point of time, I guess it's not the time for you to compare with other people, especially social media pressure. A lot of comparison in there. Okay, you see people, maybe the child know how to walk, and then you suddenly tengok anak you belum tahu macam nak jalan and all that. So I guess these little things do add on pressure on your dah memang overwhelmed postpartum kan. Jadi try to take a break from that. Not say 100%, but try to cut down lah. I myself have consider like macam try to change. I'm still in a work of progress as well. Macam my first child, always take picture of him. Of her. Every single thing dia makan pun ambil gambar. Dia ni pun ambil gambar. Semua ambil gambar. Dia duduk ambil gambar. Sekejap lagi dia jatuh. Konon-konon anak saya dah tahu duduk. Tapi padahal sekejap lagi orang tak tahu dia jatuh. So what I'm trying to say is like you can never know what happened behind the scene, you see. So I guess you can never compare lah. Yeah. So basically, forgive yourself. If you do mistake, it's okay. Move on. Do better the next day. So move on to Ustazah Nazira. Do you have any last words? Maybe you want to share with our moms and dads who are watching.
Before I share the last word to our parents, mummies and daddies who are watching, I would like to echo what Sri has just said just now, which is very, very true. I'm sure you have heard that comparison is the thief of joy. So comparison is a thief that you can never see it coming down. So the moment you start to compare yourself with somebody else, that is the starting of your agony. Okay, and I really mean it. So yeah, I really echo what she said. You have to put a limit on how much time you spend on watching other people's milestone. Okay, and yeah, I truly agree when she said that she took a picture of her child sitting down, and the next moment the child fell down. Did she take a picture of her crying, seeing her child cry down? No, can. So what you see is, wow, at the age of 9 months, the child can already sit down. But when the child had a bump,
at the age of 9 months can walk.
But when the child had a bump on her head or whatever, did you see that? No, can. So don't compare yourself with anybody, not even with yourself during your first pregnancy and all that. And you will feel that, because obviously you cannot. During your first pregnancy, you are younger, you are fitter, and then as you age, you get pregnant again. So and it's all for the best, inshallah. We make mistake, but Allah never make mistakes. So whatever that you are facing, that is the best for you. Which brings me to what I want to share with mummies and daddies out there. You are the imperfect parents for your perfect child. Okay, if you think that you are striving to be a perfect mummy or perfect daddy, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You can forget about it. Okay, you can never be a perfect parent, but there are millions of ways for you to be a good parent. Choose your battle right, and you will be sane enough to watch your children grow joyfully. Wallahu alam.
Thank you so much, Ustazah. Such an insightful advice. Okay, Hatim, do you have anything that you want to add, maybe?
I think with regards to the postpartum period, I think what I want to say is gratitude, because I mean that it is actually a recognized period of time where we actually get to heal, we actually learn to bond with our baby, learn to be a mother, learn to be a new person. So and all these are like a lot of changes, it's like a total paradigm shift, a total lifestyle change, total everything changed . So to have this confinement period as a recognized period, I feel so much gratitude for it, because it helps us to adapt slowly and adopt slowly to our new life, and I think that not all communities actually celebrate this, and I feel sad for such communities lah. So I mean, it's another point of gratitude lah, that our community actually recognizes and celebrates postpartum period through confinement. It is not a prison. It is not something which your mother-in-law or your mother or your confinement nanny try to to do things to you. It's for yourself actually, and I feel much gratitude as a new mother that we are recognized with our new status. So it's a nice way of looking at it lah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of moms who are actually waiting to be a mother and they are not even there yet. So we are here, and then we of course have to be grateful with the blessings that Allah have provided us with. Okay, I do have this acronym. I don't know if it's I'm just going to make it short. Okay, our children is our amanah. Okay, so A, accept the position that you are in now. Okay, life will change definitely because Allah wants you to be better. M, mold, lead by example. What you do and what you say must be the same. Okay, and if you are going to do something else but you tell your child something else, then your child will see what you do more. Okay, so your action matters. Your action speaks louder than words. A, appreciate Allah's gift. Okay, Allah is definitely gonna give you what's best, and you are the chosen one. You are a mother now. Allah chose you to be a mother, so you need to understand why He has put so much trust that He has given you that responsibility. And never compare through social media or through any other mother's experience, and also never put pressure on yourself. And never stop working on yourself. Okay, every single day you will definitely learn something new, and take this opportunity to improve your actions. A, acknowledge your own blessings. Sometimes we acknowledge other people's blessings, but we forget our own. We forget that we have been blessed with so many other things. Maybe if we don't have good husband, we have good mom. No good mom, good father, or a lot of things that we need to be thankful of. And also, mistake is there for our betterment. It's not there for nothing. It is there for you to improve. One time you're going to sit down and reflect and realize that, oh, patutlah macam gini. You are going to have your realization moment whenever you actually spend time with God on that sajadah, and you're going to have that, reflection, and you realize that all the things that Allah has given you, the test, is needed for you to grow. Hustle. Okay, the last one is H, hustle. Hustle for Allah, not for everybody else, and not for any other reason. Okay, because the hidayah, we know that it's milik Allah, and we are here to work on our journey. It is our journey. Everybody's journey is different, and this motherhood journey is ours, and is unique, and it's not for anybody else to say otherwise. Okay, so buat apa yang Allah suka and suruh, you will definitely gonna get a good result. If you are focusing on making things that He loves, okay, He is gonna make your children to a good result as what you actually expected. So surrender your trust. You need to surrender your trust and start with dua. If you're not sure of how to change, you make dua first, because sometimes we don't have confidence that we will change, that we think we have a lot of doubt on ourselves. So we make dua that Allah will stop making us doubting ourselves. Okay, and from there you followed by syukur, because it's hard to sabar when you never syukur. So syukur tu kena datang dulu, lepas tu baru from there you understand that okay, you have all this and you're bersyukur, and from there you can slowly sabar with whatever test that Allah has given, or with a lot of people, probably the negative comments and everything like that. You are able to sabar because you have that syukur in you. And tawakkal, and then you try to usaha to improve whatever experience that maybe is not good for you in the past. You try to do better for the future. So thank you very much for watching this session, and we hope that this session has benefited you. And do like our page and share this video if this has been beneficial for you. Share with your friends, your family, so that all of us can truly understand the true meaning of Golden Month, and truly can appreciate that this moment is for the mother to heal, for the mother to get to know herself, and get to know her baby, and also get to know Allah. Okay, we would like to thank our guest speakers today for being with us for the whole 1 hour and a half session, and we are very grateful to have all of them sharing their beautiful knowledge, their experience, and I hope that this will help you in your motherhood journey as well. Thank you, Kak Fauzia, for being here. Thank you, Ustazah Nazira, and thank you, Miss Hatim Hamidun. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our upcoming talk show. We'll have more episodes for you. Follow our Facebook and Instagram. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.